Siya was nagpaga-oo. Marishi mobile herds. Ma bisigit. Shokrik shako miwa itids. Awa dehidaha mada awadits. Nakbisidobash. Marirakash. Iropads. Mi awa herds. He metsidoga ragash. Hello, my name is Carol Goodbear, and I am from the Awake clan, and I am a child of the Knife clan. My grandfather was Chief Forebears. I grew up in Shell Creek, and I live in Newtown. I make my home in Newtown. I am a full-blooded Mandan Hidatsa, member of the 3 affiliated tribes located on the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation. My mother was the late Mary Edith Goodbear. My father was the late Lawrence K. Goodbear. I come from, on the maternal side, the Owake clan. I come from Mary Redfeather, who was married to Conrad Smith. I come from, on my father's side, George Goodbear and Lucy Bearstail. And I am related to both forebears chiefs, the Hidatsa one and the Mandan one. And I am told I am more Mandan than I am Hidatsa. So my Indian name is in Mandan, and it means renewing corn, Mobida. It was given to me by the late Ruby White Bear Partial. And we're very fortunate to have Indian names these days. Nowadays, people don't get Indian names anymore. We're not practicing our culture as often. But I am a lifelong resident of the Shell Creek area, and I'm a member of the Native American Church of North America. I'm a member of the Fort Berthold chapter, and I'm a member of the Newtown Congregational Church. And I am proud to be speaking today on behalf of myself and my family. I want to make clear that I do not represent the people of Fort Berthold. I do not represent their views today. What I'm speaking about to you is going to be my view of how I see things and how we can improve things. And in this process, we're going to convey to you different referendums that the people can participate in, and then you can tell us your view. In our cultural teachings, we're very respectful about not reaching over to control someone else's point of view. And so I want to reiterate that today and be respectful to all my relations. And the grandfathers, the ancestors, they wished us goodness. Ma Bisigis, I said, I hope you feel good. Today is a good day. I hope all of you feel well, feel good. I greet you in a good feeling that way. Our ancestors, they prayed for us to feel good morning, during the day, at night, while we sleep. Those were their prayers for us, and they prayed for people in generations ahead. All their great-great-great-grandchildren, they prayed ahead. They planned ahead for us. And so from time immemorial, the Mandan Hidatsa people lived among this Missouri River, and we are still here today. In 2023, I said I was a member of the Wake clan, that's the Dripping Dirt clan. You see us in a earth lodge, Mandan Hidatsa. We lived in an earth lodge. We're sedentary people. And the Dripping Dirt clan was originated from the beginning of time. And I am an original member of that clan. So my bloodline goes back. Sometimes there's adoptions, and sometimes there's people invited into the clan. I am not that. I am the real Awake, original member of that clan. And so we're going through our mother. So my mother, her mother, her mother, it goes all back through the lineage, the bloodline. And so that's the clan I am born for and a member of. But my father's clan, I take in a different area where I am a child of that clan. And his clan, his brothers and sisters, all from the Metsidoga knife clan, they are my dads, and they are my Ishawis. So I just want to share that with you young people in case you haven't gotten a chance to learn about your people, your clan, your identity, who you are, and be proud of who you are. I myself am proud of all what little knowledge is left, what they shared with us. I'm proud to share that with anyone who's willing to learn. And so just in my introduction, I just wanted to reiterate that our ancestors wanted us to feel good. They wanted us to enjoy this life, this wonderful opportunity to walk on this Mother Earth, breathe this air, enjoy this plant life, animal life, have relationship with these deities, the grandfathers. And so all the good things that they wished for us, I wish that for you all today. And I hope with what I have to say today will enlighten, and it will educate, and it will uplift your spirit, because we're seeking a better way for us here, for our Mandan, Hidatsa, Sanish people. We're seeking a better road for our people, and that is the purpose of our group to coming together to shed some direction and light on how we can improve the quality of our lives. We lived 12 miles out of town, and we lived on a dirt floor like this here. We didn't have running water. We didn't have indoor plumbing. We didn't have electricity. And we hauled water, and we chopped wood. We burned coal. We lived in a sod house, a log cabin. And it wasn't until I was 5 years old that we moved to town, and we got in a small place where we had electrical and plumbing. I know in this day and age, maybe a lot of people can't relate to that anymore, but I'm from a generation that can still relate to growing up in that that real humble way, and growing up in a way where I come to appreciate what we have when life was made easier with running water and electricity, and being able to have warmth from more than just the fire. But yes, that's how I grew up in Shell Creek, and some of the ruins are still there today. From the 2-room cabin that we grew up on, there was 10 of us in the family. I'm the youngest of 10.
What did you do back then as far as entertainment or work?
Well, I love being in a log cabin because of the structure, how the wood was crisscrossed on the corners, and we could climb up it like a ladder and play on the roof. So that was a lot of fun. We didn't know Jell-O. We had Jell-O in the wintertime because we put it on the roof. We didn't have refrigeration. So I got to know Jell-O only in the wintertime, what that was about. And we hauled our water, and we bath time. I love bath time because we all had to bathe in a big like a metal tub, and bath time was always fun. And playing in the cellar, we had like the Mandan Hidatsa people used to have a cash pit. My parents built what we called a cellar, and there's where we kept our potatoes and things that needed to be kept cool. So there are good memories of growing up out there. There was also harshness, and there was also some times where lean times where we learned to share. We learned to share. We learned to make things easier on each other. Our parents would come back, and we would have one candy bar, and there would be 5 of us. So we'd take a ruler, and we'd mark the candy bar, and we each got the equal amount so we could share. So we learned being fair early on. We learned that, and with siblings and sibling rivalry, and you keep each other in check, that pecking order. So there's good memories of growing up.
Tell us about your school history.
I was educated at Urban Elementary, and I was educated at the Head Start program, and then moving into Urban Elementary and then Newtown High School, and then attended college and the University of Oklahoma. Eventually graduated from the University of Mary here with a bachelor's degree in business administration. So our parents stressed education, and my father said somewhere along the line, if you are educated, you're never going to be without. You're going to be able to take care of yourself. You're going to be able to work hard. You're going to be able to know this non-ending system, and you're going to be able to succeed in it. So he stressed education, and fortunately, a lot of my family members had received secondary education and master's degree, and we're well-educated people because my mother and father asked, encouraged us, demanded that we do take part in that so we can take care of ourselves.
How about your work history?
I remember my first job was working at the FMHA with Mrs. Fisher, and she was such a kind lady, and she taught me how to read land descriptions, and she gave me a room full of files from the FMHA and told me to put it together, reading land descriptions, and I was fascinated by that because when we were growing up as children, we would draw on my grandfather was a farmer and rancher, and we would draw on the dirt, and we would say, this is your pasture, and this is my pasture, and oh, your cows are in our pasture, and we would play on the dirt like that, and we took paper off a grocery bag, and we would make cowboys out of it and put them on our hand for the horse. And so I learned about land and section lines, and formally I learned about it from Mrs. Fisher, and then she taught me how to read land descriptions. So I've always been fascinated with that. It's been an interest of mine, and that first job really had an impact on me when I was 15 years old. And so I went into my education, and then I mainly worked for thereafter being educated attorneys, leadership. I worked for a United States Senator. I worked for tribal chairman, tribal councilman, and pretty much the majority of my work was in the area of working for lawyers, just support staff. And so policy development was a real strong part of my skill set, my training, and I enjoyed my work. I enjoyed learning about making change for the better for people, for Indian people.
Can you tell us how many kids and grandkids you have and what you would hope for them?
I have a daughter, and whom I adopted when she was 3 months. I took her, and she has 2 children. So I have 2 granddaughters, Nova and Odessa. The Indian names are Red Sky Dawn and Stand Strong Woman. My daughter's Indian name is Growing Along. And so I have all my sister's children are my children. All my brother's children are my, so to speak, nieces and nephews. So if I was to be technical, I probably have about more than 30 grandchildren. If I was to be more technical, I have more than 10 sons and daughters. And so our kinship system in the Hidatsa tribe is very extensive, all inclusive, and I can explain it that way. That I have a lot of children and grandchildren. I have a lot of people call me mom, auntie, and grandma. You know, for the future of the tribe, for the future of my grandchildren, my children and grandchildren, and those yet unborn, what I hope for is for them to have safety, security, protection. As a woman, as a grandmother, the first thing that we want is protection. The first thing we want is safety for our children and grandchildren. And in so doing, whatever their environment is about, we seek safety first. So I hope that my children and grandchildren can know how to take care of themselves, how to be in their environment, how to watch out for themselves, how to be in balance with nature, whether that be our water, our air, our cultural teachings. Our ancestors talked about balance and safety and working with, not against. And so we have a whole set of cultural teachings that can help us. And then we have a whole new realm of leadership that are not in tune with that. And so what I would hope for my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, is that they would learn our culture, learn our language. They would learn how to be in balance. They would learn how to be safe and protected. And they would understand that we have a roadmap to life. We know where we came from. We know where we are, and we know where we're going. That kind of balance, that kind of solid foundation is what the non-colonized thinkers taught my mother, and it was my mother who taught me a lot of these cultural teachings. I would want my children and grandchildren to have that, and to have that wisdom, and to know where to be, when to be. A lot of times people are lost, and we're on the younger generation is trying to identify with gangs now, and they're trying to identify with other races of people that those teachings, that way of dress, that way of talking, that's not ours. And so I would like my children and grandchildren to be grounded and to know who they are. And I would like them to respect each other, love one another, take care of one another. This cultural bias, this direct conflict where we have generosity, kindness, taking care of each other. And then on the other side, with the non-Indian, we have competition, we have greed, we have they're directly, the values directly conflict. But I would wish for my children and grandchildren to have a more balanced outlook and know how to take care of themselves. Choose leadership that has all those good values in place so their moral compass is back on track.
Tell us anything you remember about tribal government growing up.
I remember there was a Carl Whitman, and I think he was chairman. I remember people having always respect for the leadership. I was told that no matter who is in those leadership positions, to give them the utmost respect and for the sacred seat that they hold, for the sacred duty they have to carry out. It was shared with me that those oaths and those duties have to do with our Creator. We made a promise, a pact with our Creator. So they talked about leadership among those lines because those people who raised us came from that kind of real respectful leadership. So that was my first teachings about tribal leadership and how we would have to respect our leaders, whether it be our chief, whether it be our chairman. We had great respect for them, men or women, and I appreciate those teachings today. I think they still hold true today. So that was my first teaching, is about tribal leadership.
How would you compare the leadership from back when you were growing up to today?
Today we have a leadership that is wanting to have prosperity. I know they want good things, but I feel there's a conflict within them. I feel the current leadership may have be experiencing an imbalance. And with that, I mean, when you're worried about yourself and you're talking from the I, me, then you're not a leader. I think when you talk from the we and you, I represent you, I work for you, the people direct me on what to do. I think our leadership today is not in balance with that. And I think they could learn a lot from the past leaders who knew how to speak in the subservient role, actually serve the people who elected them, actually utilize that servant leadership model. So that's what I feel about the current leadership today. They need some help. I really love and appreciate some of our past leaders and really good movers and shakers in the community. One of them was Marilyn Hudson. And she would visit with me and she would tell me, Carol, you have to step into leadership, she'd say, because you come from a unique world, a unique position. You have one foot in the old way, the way we did things, and you have one foot in the modern world where you're educated. She said, so you come from you are uniquely qualified, is what she said. And I appreciated her, my really well-respected lady that my relative is, Marilyn, and how she encouraged me, and and uh, and and what a great loss, in that we've lost wonderful people like her who moved on into her journey, and she did a lot for our people. And so I have great respect for her, and plus I'm related to her; she's my relative. But she encouraged me to step into leadership, and so through prayer and meditation, I felt when the Creator asked me, then I will step into leadership. And so this past election is when I was asked to step into leadership, and I did, and it was so. Beautiful experience in a way, humbling. I didn't step in there with I want to win, I should win, I know the way, I have plans, and listen to me, all of you. That was not the approach to use. So I used the approach I was told to use, which is to tell the people, you tell me the way. You tell me what you want. You share with me how you want to make everything better. As your leader, I serve you. You are the boss. This Constitution is my job description, and I need to serve you. And so that's turning the tables quite a bit. And so my campaign was on in reminding them of the good life, the cultural life, the way we used to be, the people, the good people we come from. I reminded them when I had a chance to speak. And I did speak to some of the issues. So it was a wonderful experience, a good experience. I feel if I'm called to leadership in any capacity, I want to do my best to serve. And it may or may not be in the chairmanship, but I'm okay with that. I have a lot of good plans, good ideas, but I do know that the power rests with the people. I'm a part of the referendum effort because I believe that is the most fairest, easiest way to get direction and input from the people. The people need their voice to be heard. So I think us giving them some real clear direction to choose from, for example, the off-reservation people not being included, that referendum includes them until we can make it more solidified and change our process. So one of the referendums, that's key to include the other 7,000 to 8,000 people who really don't have much of a say in our governing, in our policy development, our legislation, our laws that govern us. So I want to be a part of that referendum effort because that's going to help encourage the people to step up and let their voice be heard. Some of the people that have inspired me is the wonderful past leadership. First of all, our own tribal people. We've had Alice Spotted Bear. We've had Ed Lone Fight. We had the people who inspire me are people like pockets of people like Ray Cross, people like Tilly, and Reba Walker, Hans Walker, people like Gerard Baker, Paige Baker. There's wonderful pockets of people who are inspirational, like my former boss, Senator Kent Conrad. Very inspirational, and former leadership like who I really enjoyed and had the honor to meet was the Mesclero Apache former tribal chairman. Help me with the name, Steve.
Arthur Mandan.
Yeah, Arthur
Levis.
Mandan. He was from our tribal people. But I mean, the Apache tribe, there was Wendell Chino. Yes, he was a prolific leader. Peterson Zaw, who I've had the chance to meet. The other good people who inspire me are our prophets. We have our own tribal prophets and leadership and spiritual people like my grandfather, Alfred Driver Sr., and also Thomas Banyaka, who I met personally and heard the Hopi prophecies, and also Orem Lyons from the Confederacy on the East Coast, the Iroquois Confederacy. These people I've had the rare opportunity to meet personally and to listen to their wisdom, their guidance, their unique, their intellectual, their almost sacred words in what they shared with us.
Can you tell us the importance of the off-reservation vote in your referendum effort?
I believe in inclusion, and inclusion means to me that we don't leave anybody behind. And maybe the tribal membership need to speak to that issue. They need to have a say on how they would like to see that changed, should they believe it should be changed. So I think, for one, it should be changed, and I think that we have wonderful pockets of people out off the reservation who would make great leaders, and I think they have good ideas, they're well educated, and they can't always make it home to vote. And so I think that we should include them in some way, somehow. So with the off-reservation vote, I think that we need to be all-inclusive, and we utilize their presence on our tribal membership rolls, and yet if 7,000-8,000 of them aren't heard properly, I think that's unfair representation. So for those two basic reasons also, I believe they should be included.
Can you talk a little bit about transparency?
Transparency, I believe, with reference to the Constitution, with reference to our tribal finances, I think transparency is I'm adamant that transparency has to be. It's huge. It has to be all. We need to show what we're doing as our tribal leaders need to show us what they're doing, because they are spending the people's money. So when they show all revenue, all expenditures, they're basically showing us our assets. They're showing us our money. And for that lack of transparency that we are coming across, I feel like someone's taken my checkbook and then telling me that they're not going to say what's in my own account. So transparency is vital to running a good government and to winning the people's trust, because trust is everything in everything we do. Children, wanting our children to trust us. These leaders who are all over tribal Indian country, they need to have their people trust them. Accountability with reference to our leadership, I believe that we have the ability to respond. We have the ability to be responsible. And I think our leadership, in so doing, will be going hand in hand with responsibility and accountability. Those are important. Showing someone, saying, this is what I'm going to do, and then doing it. And then demonstrating for them that you have done the work that you promised you would do. That's making it in real simple terms, accountability. Be accountable. We are taught those kind of ethics when my 4-year-old granddaughter is learning accountability. responsibility. And so to become an adult and to take those values and those teachings and not utilize them in your life, in your work, in your work as a tribal leader is unacceptable. So accountability is vital. From a cultural perspective, we have relationships to all living things. And there was a time in creation where before men and women came, there was beings that walked this earth. And in so doing, when their time had passed on this earth, they lay deep within the ground when they rested. And now they turned into what modern day, what we call oil. So when you take it from that perspective, you see a blessing from time immemorial that came to help our people. Now, when it's explained to our younger generation that way, instead of looking at it like the modern day oil means money, black gold, Texas tea, all these different words, this cultural perspective, when you turn everything back and you look at the origin of it, that means a relationship. We had a relationship to nature. And so, in so doing, what has happened to our people, those beings have come back in a way to help us. Now, we can take that help and we can respect it and we can pay homage to it. One of the things that we do in my particular family is we pay homage to our land, our water. We have our ceremonies where we go in and we put out our tokens to them, giving them thanks for what they do for us. And so in so doing, there's a way we can respect this, and there's a way that it'll take care of us. There will be harmony and balance. But when you move in the realm of the mainstream America and you see the oil that happened at Fort Berthold, it came in a different way, and it came with some ancillary changes and ancillary, so to speak, events, and now we're facing murder. Now we're facing loss of life. Now we're facing extreme devastation and loss, and even the misuse of the proceeds from that blessing. So when you mention oil, and I speak to it from that cultural perspective, I believe that there is a way we can harness everything and rein it all back in. We can pull everything together, and we can let this development work for us. A good part of it means taking care of the Mother Earth and not ravishing it. A good part of it means finding a way to utilize those resources to help our poor, our needy, to help those without running water, to help those without homes. There's a way we can utilize those resources, all those good things. It came to our people for a reason, and to have the correct leadership in place to know how to utilize it best, to know how to do proper remediation. Those kind of things, I think, are important. Well, one of the things that I thought would surely been in place by now with respect to the leadership at Fort Berthold was every one of our children would have trust accounts. I thought that all of it would go into the People's Fund. I thought that all of it would be provided a true accountability of everything that went in place, and what did happen was far from that right now. So I think that there's got to be a way to fix those things, and some of the referendums, I think, touch on that a bit too. Well, I'd sure like to make mention that in this And the way the world works, we have to put one foot in our cultural teachings and one foot in the mainstream America. And I'd like to make mention that, a handful of us people got together. We started an organization small from grassroots level called the Red Owl Committee, of which I am the treasurer, of which Terry Fredericks is the head of that group. And we have other tribal members involved. And we took direction from our elders, and we approached them, and we asked what they would like to see in our efforts moving forward. And so in that way of, like I said, a balance, it's going to help us account for any monies donated to us. And so with that, I want to create a 501c3, and we want to seek whatever we need fundings to continue our efforts. Because once these petitions are accomplished, there's still much work out there. And if I could share with the young people, I just want to reiterate to you younger people that you are the 7th and 8th generation, and you have a responsibility and obligation. And with my generation, I'm trying to pave the way for you. I'm trying to open up doors for you so that when I'm not here no more, you can take care of yourself, that you're going to know what to do. You're going to know who you are. You're going to know where to be, when to be. That is very important to me for my children and grandchildren, is to leave behind direction so that you're never lost and you're never alone. So I really want to speak to the young people today and tell you that we have great love and care for you. And our whole effort is to prepare a better future for all of you. And it comes from our heart. And there's going to be a lot of things that we want you to do and learn. We want to show you a model about how to be, where to be, things are going to happen in the next few short years. And we're going to need you to wake up, spiritually wake up, and start learning your culture, because that is the only thing that's going to save us. And have a giving heart, because even other generations are going to need you to guide them. And other races of people who are lost are going to come to us. And they're going to be acclimated. They're going to be attracted to us. And we're going to, according to the prophecies, we're going to show them the way. I'd like to reach out to all the people of Fort Berthold who are enrolled tribal members, whether you live in Billings, Seattle, Spokane, Chicago, Albuquerque, Minneapolis, whether you live on the East Coast, California, LA, Texas. I'd like to call upon you to please hear me, hear my respectful, humble request that you would listen to these messages sent, that the air would carry this message, and that you would read and learn what we are doing and participate. It's important that we need all 7,000, 8,000 of you to participate. Those of you who are 18 years and older, we need your help. We need your participation. I feel sad that you're not included. My heart goes out to those of you who are having a real difficult time. I've lived off the reservation to obtain my education. I know what it's like to count pennies, and so that I could do my laundry, so I can finish my college education. I know what it's like to go through hard times. And my heart goes out to you people who are facing a lot of adversity. And I feel like I just want to take all of you and hug you and bring you home and have a home for you, have a safe place for you, because you belong home here with us. And some of you have no jobs, no place to live, so you go out there and make your living. But my heart goes out to you, and I ask for your help. I need your help in what I'm doing here on a local level, grassroots level.